Welcome to Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O, episode 85, all things Olympics. Just wrapped up in Italy. Talk some college hoops, including where we see things heading as we approach March Madness. We'll get started here in just 1 second. But first, we want to thank our title sponsor, Elite Performance Chiropractic, former NFL player Jeremy Phillips. And, he's been on the show 30 times. He's great, and he gets you feeling better than ever with state-of-the-art techniques and technology to, whether you're 8 or 88 or anywhere in between, get you feeling better than ever. Elite Performance Chiropractic. Check him out online, also on social media. So we appreciate him being our title sponsor. All right, Johnny, what do you think about the Olympics? I know you're anti-American, but what do you think?
I've been watching them. Okay, little nighttime here and there. I enjoy watching the skiing. I can't believe they can go 80, 90 miles an hour down hills like that. Some of the cross-country skiing, the beautiful sights of Italy, with the mountains in the background and all that nice white snow. The skating. Kim wanted to watch the skating, and I'm not going to lie, it was pretty interesting. The couple skating and all that kind of good stuff. Watched a little of the speed skating, but after about 4 or 5 days, the first week, the skiing and all that, I'm going to be honest with you, I had enough. How much how much can you watch over and over and over again? Just them going down the hill, which I say it still blows my mind what they can do. I've never skied in my life, and I don't plan on it, and it's very impressive. But yeah, I started getting bored. Now, as we jump ahead now with this hockey thing, and let's not forget about the women. I mean, they looked like the dream team of women's hockey this past Olympics. Like the basketball, they just dominated. Until they had to go overtime to beat Canada. But good for them. It was very cool. This Megan Keller, I would have never known anything about her. Now she's a household name. That is so cool. So that was interesting. But let's talk yesterday, man. I mean, tell me you don't get that American feeling and that just beautiful, just going through your body and watch. I'm not a hockey fan. I mean, I go to a Hurricane maybe 1 or 2 games a year, and I love going. But, to watch hockey, I'm not that big a deal. I watched every minute of that game yesterday, and I hated to see it end. I mean, I loved the way it ended, but that 3-on-3, just everything about it was fantastic, man. Proud to be an American yesterday. And, but I will say, and I'll let you go now, I think Canada was the better team, though. I mean, they really kind of outplayed the U.S., but not in the final score. So it was great to see the U.S. bring it home after 46 years.
Yeah, Summer Olympics is, the Olympics that we dominate. What I didn't know until this year, and it can be a little misleading, but Team USA or America, we're second all time in medals at the Winter Olympics behind Norway, and we finished second this time. Now, I also have to factor in that we've always pretty much participated, and we have more athletes typically, and we've been in from the beginning basically, but still, it's very impressive. Summer Olympics, we just dominate so much that it's not even close. So sometimes the Winter Olympics to me is kind of like, oh, I guess I'll check it out. I really enjoyed what I watched. I, for some reason, watched 2 hours of curling the other day. I couldn't stop watching it.
It does. It sucks you in. I did watch some of that, and oh my God, you just hit it right on the nose. It sucks you in. You're like looking at it, and you're saying, you don't understand it. It's not that interesting, but it is interesting. You're like, so what? I still don't know the rules, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like, what's the cornhole on ice.
Cornhole.
I mean, yeah, cornhole on ice, and like the sweeping or whatever, Swiffering. There's a lot of memes like people, right before a company comes over, you do the curling sweep. But I'm just surprised at how technical those things can be. And they're like, all right, this is what they're going to do. And you're like, there's no way they're going to get that stone, which by the way, I think is only made in one place in the world, the ones they use. But, and, just a little technique here and there. But I don't know how they don't kick the stones. The two guys sweeping, like there's stones all around them, and then, or whatever they're called, and curling stones. But I'm just like, yeah, it's pretty impressive. But
do they ever hit them? Seriously, that's a great question. I've never seen it either.
And what is the penalty? There has to be a penalty if you touch it with your foot. I guess it's out. But I mean, they're right on it the whole time, and then they're approaching other stones, and they don't seem to ever hit them, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, the Winter Olympics for me, even as a kid, I enjoyed bobsled, downhill skiing, any of the skiing type stuff, because it's just so, man, one mistake. And, Lindsey Vonn, although she probably shouldn't have been skiing with her blown out ACL, she broke her leg, almost lost her leg. It's still up in the air. She may lose her leg. But that figure skating, to me, also, one little wobble is the difference between gold and silver, or gold and not placing, and the skill. Yeah.
Perfection. Yeah.
The skill levels through the roof. I do think the individual star of the Olympics is Alyssa Liu, who took 2 years off from competing as a figure skater and said it was messing with her mental health. And she, I think from ages 17 to 19 or 18 to 20, and she's like, I got to take some time away. I might not do this again. And then she missed it. And she said, if I qualify for the Olympics, I just want to go to represent my country and have fun. And then she won the gold medal. And it's the first time, I believe, in 20 years, this may had won a gold medal for the women's U.S. figure skating team as an individual. And then the team won as well. But the hockey's a story.
Wow.
The timing of it, waking up on a Sunday morning.
It couldn't have been a better time. Yes. 8 o'clock with a cup of coffee and cooking breakfast while that game was on. The best.
Yeah, I know you're from up north, so you're probably mostly heathens up there. I was getting ready for church. No, but actually, the thing is, you texted it, and I was like, "Oh, let me turn it on." But I was, helping my youngest son, who's 5, get ready for church, different things. And then when I sat down, was at the end of the third period for like 20 seconds, and then waited for overtime. And you're right, 3-on-3 overtime. Is there a better overtime format in all of sports?
No, and that's exact. I'm glad you brought that up. 3-on-3 with the goalie. The first thing I thought of, before it even started, I'm like, this is good. This is the way you come up with a winner. Okay, not by a 5'7", 142-pound kicker, okay, that's going to kick a field goal to end the game, possibly in sudden death, depending on how the overtimes go. They got it down. That was it. Oh my God. Hockey has the answer for that, for sure.
Yeah, because, if your kids played soccer, you played soccer, and you play with the normal amount of people, but you ever see every once in a while people go out and play, and they'll on the same size normal field, and they'll say, all right, we're going to play 5-on-5 or 4-on-4. Yeah. All these opportunities open up for scoring. And I'm like, one mistake, and the game's over. And sure enough, it looked like Canada was going to have the advantage. They turned the puck over, went down. We had a 2-on-1. And then the other star of the Olympics, just because the most iconic photo maybe of all time at the Winter Olympics, Jack Hughes, after getting his teeth knocked out earlier in the game, is standing, hits the golden goal, wins the whole thing. The goalie, or whatever his last, Chuck, something, whatever, 41 saves, the most ever in Olympic gold medal match.
Connor Hellerbuck. I mean, he was the MVP of that game, man. Let's get his name on there. The goalie was spectacular. That's what I mean about Canada, really almost dominated 2/3 of that game. But if it wasn't for that goalie, that was just fantastic. It was great.
We had twice as many saves as Canadians, where we had twice as many shots on goal as America did. is Team USA. I did see something, Johnny, that's funny because social media world we live in that said if Canada had agreed to be the 51st state, they would have won the Olympic gold medal.
Man.
It was pretty funny. But Jack Hughes holding the American flag, and what he said at the end, that he did this for his country. Our team loves America. We did this for America. We're proud to be Americans. It was like, you know what? All the divisions, all the politics, even Duke, Carolina fans, you got Steelers and Ravens fans, you got Red Sox, Yankees fans. Yep. There's a great commercial during the Olympics that showed all these different fans, Eagles, Cowboy fans, they're all that's put to the side, white, black, old, young. We just want America to win. And it was awesome.
They need to show that, they will show it forever, but a lot, because he just represented, first of all, it represented the game of hockey to the T, man. With the missing tooth, the little blood, and the hair all over the place, sweating afterwards. But man, he represented the United States and all of us, man. And I knew. Did you ever hear Jack Hughes before all this? Nope. I love the guy now, and yeah. I believe his brother Quinn Hughes plays on the team as well. Jack plays for the Devils, New Jersey Devils in the NHL, and Quinn plays for Minnesota. Wow. So it's quite a family, but oh my God, that was the representation of that whole, really of all the Olympics was by Jack Hughes, man. It was beautiful.
Absolutely. I think it summed up. It's the best possible ending to the Olympic Games. And then we fast forward to 2028 and, America will host the Summer Olympics in LA. And then the following Winter Olympics will be in my Mecca, Salt Lake City. So they've done it before. Oh. They nailed it in 2002, I believe it was a year. But so America's hosting the next two Olympic Games. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic ending. So
also, even with the hockey team, when they brought down oh my God, those the Goudreau brothers that got killed.
Oh yes.
And they brought the kids down there, and they had his jersey going. I mean, chills again. It was, God, they really knew what they were doing, and the respect they showed, again, made us proud to be Americans for sure. So, way to go, USA hockey, men and women's.
Yes.
So, but all right. Well, before we get on to our next, college hoops is kicking in, man. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but we got to thank Estate Jewelry and Loan. Something old, something new. Estate Jewelry has a great selection of new and estate jewelry, and you can find a nice, unique piece in Brian's showroom. You can find him over at 2511 Battleground Ave, and go to his website, estatejewelryloan.com. He's buying and selling gold and silver and all kinds of good stuff. He's the guy to go see. Also, Salsarita's Fresh Mexican Grill, located in High Point at the Palladium, and in Greensboro in the Target Shopping Center on New Garden Road. They got food trucks. Get their food truck at one of your events. He's got catering, daily specials. You can find their menu at salsaritas.com. And then we got 4 Real 24, real golf indoors anytime. Greensboro's premier 24/7 indoor golf facility that we still have to get you over there for. Offering iconic golf courses and state-of-the-art equipment. Great little place he's got over there. Clay Jordan's the owner. He's got a bunch of members. He's got people just coming in and playing rounds of golf on these beautiful golf courses. You can check them out on the corner of Horsepen Creek Road in Battleground. And you can go to their website, 4real24.com.
Excellent. All right. We had a huge matchup, Duke versus Michigan, 1 versus 3? And Duke came out on top. It's kind of a slow pace, more of a defensive effort, not a great shooting effort from either team from 3. In a neutral site game, Duke coming out on top on that. It kind of gives you some insight into college basketball. But what are your thoughts, like heading in, getting close to the conference tournaments and then the NCAA tournament?
I think there's a bundle of teams that can win it all. The Duke Michigan game, Michigan looks like a really great team. Duke beat them. This Duke team's got me. Again, we all know I'm not a Duke fan, but this is one of their best teams I've seen in a long time because they play as a team, and
Right.
they won that game and won it good. Obviously they probably move up to number one this week. The other
Right.
game, that Arizona Houston game, another great game, and Arizona was without one of their top players, and they beat that tough Houston team. So you got Houston, Duke, Michigan, uh, Arizona. There's a bunch of there's about seven or eight teams that can still win the whole thing.
I agree.
But I'm getting interested in this ACC. I think the ACC is starting to tighten up a little bit. We got, of course, Duke's, leading it at 13-1. Virginia right back in it, man. They're at 12-2 and they're looking really good. Miami a surprising 10-4. And Clemson is kind of falling a little bit. They
Yes,
started off hot as hell, and they're falling big time. But I'm going to say, and I know you're a Carolina fan, look out for NC State, man. This North Carolina State team can beat anybody on any given night. Well coached, and their point guard, I call him Q Copeland. Quadir Copeland is just sensational, but they got some players on that team. So I think the ACC tournament's going to be very interesting this year. But UNC, if they can get healthy, which hopefully you can tell me a little bit about what you're thinking about the Tar Heels, if they can rally back and really kind of start kicking it in. But Duke's the cream of the crop. Even though Carolina beat them, Duke's still that team in the ACC that could just walk right through it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you've said. I think Carolina, I think we find out this week if Caleb Wilson is going to be able to come back with the broken hand for the tournament. There is talk that it's either he's coming back or he's out. But we're going to find out this week. I guess we kind of always knew that. But as far as this week, he's going to have some examinations and x-rays and different things to see how the bone's doing in his hand, and they'll decide this week if he's coming back for the ACC or NCAA tournament or he's out. If he's out, Carolina is a first weekend loss team for the most part. I mean, I don't see them going any further than that. With him in it, they have Final Four talent. I don't know. We'll see.
Makes a huge difference. It really does, because Henry Vasar,
obviously
came back against Syracuse. Here we're in the Dome, looking for a big win. They retired a couple of jerseys from, years ago. They had about 25,000 people, and I wasn't sure if Henry Vasar was playing. So I was thinking both of them were out. I'm like, oh, this could fall into, give us something this year, something to cheer, give the fans something to cheer about. But old Henry came back and he kind of dominated. And our crappy coach at Syracuse, which it's got to be the end of his coaching career, was not prepared for anything. I mean, they played an undermanned Carolina team in the Dome, and they got beat.
Right.
Total no preparation, no nothing. So that was really disgusting. But back to what I'm trying to say. This Vasar is a hell of a basketball player, and
yes,
with Caleb that 1-2 punch, I agree with you 100%. Could lead them right to the Final Four if they can get Caleb back.
The thing about Duke, and you nailed this early on, that would give me pause as a Duke fan, is that they are not a good three-point shooting team. And when things tighten up in the NCAA tournament, or they play a team hot from three, this is not an explosive team either. I mean, they do play as a team, and they can make a bad team look really bad, and they are very good, of course. But they're not, to me, they're not like the Jay Williams teams of old, or even the John Shire championship team. I can see this team losing the Sweet 16. I don't see them being a first weekend. When you're a one seed, it's hard to lose in the first weekend. It happens sometimes. But the fact that they don't shoot the three well bothers me. If I try to think, if I was a Duke fan, that would really bother me, that they really can't stretch the floor. But, man, they have athletes everywhere. They have 5 stars everywhere. They have Boozer, who's a beast down low and can shoot the three. For his size. But yeah, Duke should make a deep run. But the fact that they can't really shoot the three with any consistency, we've seen it time and time again when things tighten up. and you start clanking threes, other team gets hot, you're in trouble. So, but yeah, of course they're a good team. But no one else from the ACC to me seems State. I don't know. I can't tell. They blew out Carolina. Carolina looked horrible, missing your top two players.
Top two. Yep.
So it's hard to know. You're missing 35 points and 20 rebounds, or almost 40 points, 20 rebounds. But still, I felt Hubert didn't have his team ready to put up any sort of fight against an NC State team at NC State. But you're right. They are improving, and they do. Their coach is a good coach. Yeah. He talks a lot of trash, but he's a good coach. UConn could win it. Michigan could win it. Illinois could win it. I mean, Kansas has been hot at times. Texas Tech, unfortunately, they had their best player get hurt. I like BYU as a Sweet 16 team, with AJ, but their second best player tore his ACL. There's a lot of good players around.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah, and so
AJ's been on fire, man. He's had quite a few 30-point games.
Yeah.
Well, back to State real quick. I think their next 8 days are going to kind of tell the story before going into the tournament. They play Virginia tomorrow night. That's a great test for them. Are they as good as that? Probably the second best team in the ACC right now. If they can get by that, then they got a kind of a cakewalk with Notre Dame. Notre Dame's been struggling all year, but then Monday night they play Duke. So can they win 2 out of those 3? That would set them straight. If they win 3 out of 3, look out.
Absolutely.
But 2 out of 3 would be a good little barometer, at least to see if they can compete with the good teams.
Yeah, so it should be interesting to see, what's going to go on. The ACC's back after having kind of a down year last year, downish year last year. But yeah, I mean, you're right. 7 teams that could probably win it, maybe.
Yeah.
And usually you have 1 or 2, these 2 teams are for sure. I don't feel that about anybody.
No.
I think earlier in the season when Michigan had a bunch of wins by 30 points, I was like, well, maybe. But then they've kind of come back down to earth. They're still very good. Yeah, but
And that Cadeau is looking really good. Hey, before we continue, wrapping it up with the basketball, Jimmy Snow's Imperial Marketing Solutions. He's selling laptops and desktops like brand new for $395. You can reach him at 315-345-8349. And California Burrito Express and Bar, offering a full bar with margaritas, draft beer, and serving very generous portions of Mexican food. You can find them over at Spring Garden Street. Again, California Burrito Express and Bar. So I don't know. There's a couple. One other team I do want to mention. I'm thinking about my Syracuse team struggling. They're 15-12, and all these other teams. And I'm looking at some of these smaller schools, and we got one right here locally. High Point University's 26-4 right now, and just flying. I want to get in. I want to check out that new arena sometime, but. There's a team that, you never know, if they can just make it to that second weekend, it would be kind of neat, if they, but they have to win their tournament to get into the big dance.
Yeah, I think Lenardi, I could have it wrong. I think Lenardi has them as a 12 seed now, much better than last time where they a 16 seed or a 15 seed and they played Purdue. That's rough. But it's the first time they made the tournament in a while. So I think they're getting more credence because they made it last year. But they could be a 12. They could be that 12-5 upset. And then, it just escaped my mind. Mid-major team that's undefeated. But
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah. They play in a weak conference, but winning is winning, and sometimes you get some confidence if players are older and they've been together for a while. It'll be interesting to see. There's definitely going to be some Cinderellas as always in March Madness.
But you're right. If HPU gets a 12 seed, now they play a 5 seed, and you know how that goes sometimes, it's usually an upset. But even Miami of Ohio, they could be, end up 30-0, okay, but they're a 15 seed and they got to play whoever, Arizona. I mean, that's just not fair. If they can just sneak up into like a 14 or a 13, then they have a shot at winning, beating one of those schools. So That could be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. All of a sudden, man, March is here. So.
It's crazy, right? This year's flying by. So
because all we've been talking about is football. So finally we're getting into basketball, and but I tell you, real quick, Beck, that hockey, hockey is so exciting and so fast, and not a lot of timeouts. It really makes you appreciate how great athletes they are and how fun it is to watch. Because my main complaint about basketball and all the way across the board is all the timeouts and the stoppage in play to check this play, to check that. Does that get on your nerves or no?
It does. It does.
Woo.
And hockey moves. I mean, hockey moves for sure. Scoring can be a little low, but man, we both agreed earlier. They nailed overtime. That's the most exciting.
That was great.
It's just so exciting because you're like, oh man, just one misstep and you got a 2-on-1, and it's game over.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, good show, my man.
All right, bro. Great job.
You got it. We'll see you next week.
Overtime pay. We're talking the overtime play. The big story.